I went to lunch with one of my sweet friends that I've known for about 12 years. And she asked me a question at lunch that gave me pause. She said, Angie, have you ever had the experience where you've been in a close relationship and your trust has been broken? Have you been able to heal that? Yes, I have had an experience where my trust has been broken, very, very profoundly broken. And I have learned how to move beyond that break and to trust again, to trust that person again. But there are some key elements that must be present for me to actually have made that work. And so I wanted to share some of those with you if you're feeling as though you've been in a situation that has broken your trust and you're wondering if you will ever be able to trust that person again. These are the elements that needed to be in existence for me to work through my issues of not trusting this person so that I could get back to a space of trusting. So, number one, the first thing was I had to actually want to trust the person again. And I start there because if there's no desire, no willingness to trust, no desire or want to trust, even if you don't know how you're going to do it, you have to at least want to. You have to at least want to know, you want to be able to trust again. So the first thing that had to happen for me is I had to get clear on whether or not I wanted to trust the person again, whether or not I wanted to have a relationship with that person. And for me to have a relationship with the person, I have to trust them. If there's not trust in the foundation of any relationship for me, I don't go in. I must be able to trust the person. If I'm going to have a close, intimate relationship, whether it's a friendship or a marriage or a partnership in business, I have to be able to trust them first and foremost. To regain trust in a relationship where trust has been broken, I have to want to trust that person. If I don't want to trust that person, nothing I'm going to do and nothing that person is going to do will change the situation. So I actually had to decide if I wanted to trust the person. The second thing that needed to be present for me to learn how to trust again with this person was I had to be accountable for my part in the situation. This part was really hard for me because I felt like an innocent bystander, and I had to actually get really clear and really real with myself about what part I had actually played in the relationship, and what part I had played in the betrayal, and what part I had played in the miscommunications, and what part I had played in being tolerant of things that were breaking my trust, and how long I stayed, and how long I kept looking the other direction, and how long I kept denying my own intuition. Part of the issue for me, the pattern in my relationships where trust has been broken, the pattern that I've been able to readily uncover throughout across the board is I broke trust with me first because I overrode my intuition. I overrode my sense that something was going on, and I ignored it. So trust was broken with me first, and so I had to heal my trust with myself first. So the first thing I needed to do was to decide if I wanted to trust the person again. The second thing was I needed to get clear about how I'd broken my own trust and trust myself, learn how to trust myself again. The third thing that needed to be present for me to heal my trust in this relationship was both parties had to be willing to be accountable. Now, I am not saying that I require the other person to be accountable and apologetic for me to become accountable and apologetic. What I am saying is for me to regain trust in a relationship where the trust has been broken, both parties involved had to do their own work. I had to be accountable and do my own work, and he or she had to be accountable and do their own work. And we had to find a ground in the middle where there was a common ground to build the trust upon. Another thing in relation to that for me was, in the case of my former husband, for me to regain trust in that relationship with him, he will always be a part of my life because he is the father of my daughter. So I had to learn how to trust him again. And there were many years I didn't want to. And when I finally got clear on my own shit and started doing my own work, I could see all the ways that I had contributed to our relationship being not healthy. And so in conjunction with us doing our own work, the other thing that I realized with Charles was I needed to be able to say whatever I needed to be able to say to him. I had to be able to say all the things that I had bottled up for years after, in the process of my trust being broken, in the process of our relationship dismantling, in the process of all of that, all the stuff that I held in that had hurt, I needed to be able to say that. So that kind of goes in conjunction with the willingness to do your own work and be accountable. If you are someone who has broke another person's trust, one of the most healing practices can be you becoming a space of safety for them to say all the things that they need to say. Now, sometimes this is not possible, and sometimes it helps if you have a professional that is in the middle that can actually be the space to hear all the things that needed to be said. But for me, because I'm a verbal processor, I had to be able to speak through everything that had happened. So the three things that I believe need to be present for healing of trust to happen in a relationship where trust has been broken. Number one, you have to want it. You have to want to trust the person. Number two, you have to be willing to be accountable for your part in the communication breakdown. And number three, both parties need to be willing to do their own personal work and become accountable. Bonus tip for healing trust where trust has been broken in a relationship. Bonus tip, when you say I'm sorry for something that you've done that broke the trust, mean it. And that means you actually don't do that again. That's what I required for my healing to begin, for my trust to be returned. And the other thing that I've noticed is in the relationships where my trust was broken, I'm able to get clear and move through my own stuff and learn from my own stuff. But if the other person isn't willing to be accountable for how they behaved, I don't go back in the relationship. That is the big key for me, that I can sense and see their accountability, and I can see that they actually do want to create a relationship of trust with me. I actually have to be able to experience that from the other person. I have to be able to experience that they're willing to go, yeah, I fucked up, and this is how I fucked up, and this is what I want to do differently next time. I don't require that for me to heal, but I do require that for the relationship to heal. I hope you can hear the difference there. So I hope that is beneficial to you, and that if you're looking at a relationship where the trust has been broken and that you do want to save the relationship, that you are able to apply these tools to your life to affect a change, to heal the trust that was broken. If you would like some more information about this or support in moving through a situation like this, then I invite you to go to my calendar and schedule a connecting call to see how I could support you further. That is connectwiththephoenix.com. Again, that's connectwiththephoenix.com. And you can schedule a connecting call, which is a complimentary 30-minute call where I get to know what's going on for you and listen to the ways that I can support you if that is what feels in alignment for us. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I will talk to you soon. Create yourself a beautiful day. I love you. Bye-bye.